Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Sydney. Um, what we are doing today is that you probably seen by the title of the video again. I'm gonna tell you guys about accommodation in Bloem, how to find accommodation in Bloem as a student or whatever you may be. I got this question from, I think, maybe one of the students or one of the future students of CUT. They said they've been accepted, they've been admitted into the university for next year, but they are worried about accommodation because they've probably never been in Bloem. Bloem is so far from where they come from, so they're wondering how they're gonna find accommodation. But it's not that difficult, man. It's not that difficult. It's not something that you should be worrying about. What I think you can worry about is the money. Yeah, I think money is the main thing that a person should be worried about. If money is not the problem, I can say when I speak of money, like if you're looking for accommodation, an accredited one, especially as a first year, I think you should be having something between 3 to 5k. I think that will get you covered up only for accommodation. Yeah, or maybe let's say between 3 to 6k max. Yeah, I think that will be all. So we're gonna discuss everything about accommodation, how to find it, where to look, how to go about it, and everything. And I also share my experience as we go in. But before we delve right into that, I prepared a meal for myself. Ke ledombo, as you can see. I don't know in another language what you call it, but ke ledombolo and vos. I don't know what vos you anymore because I have like 3 of them in here. But let me enjoy my meal and then we continue with the video. Yeah, so this is my meal and idombolo. So I got this from Pick and Pay. It's very cheap. It's something like 20 rands. I think 23 rands max. And then I obviously made the voros myself. But it's a good meal. You know, I'm a good cook, guys. I think I'm a good cook because I enjoy most of the food I cook most of the time. I think 9 out of 10 times I enjoy what I cook, and I cook exactly what I intend to cook. So I think I'm a great cook. So let me rate it. Let me rate it. Out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 8. 8 out of 10 because it's decent. The reason why I'm gonna give it an 8 is because this bread, ne? If I was the one who made the dough, I think I would give it a 9 probably, or a 9.5. But because I'm not the one who made it, it's not the ideal one I would make if I made it for myself. Yeah. So let's not waste time and let's delve right into the video. All right, now we're ready to get started. So why do I say you should have maybe 3k, between 3k to 6k max to get accommodation? The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm assuming you'll be doing your first year. Like, even if it's not your first year, you'll be a first timer here in Bloem. And as far as for this year 2023, the maximum amount that it pays for accommodation is 3.7. So what accommodations usually do is that, or accommodation providers usually do is that they usually charge double. In the first month, they charge you double the amount of NSFAS. So they say you pay the deposit and the rent. Or maybe they say you pay the deposit if it's NSFAS accredited, which is something that I also advise when you're looking for accommodation. You should have at the top of your priority list NSFAS accredited accommodations. That is like something that you should have at the top of your list. And then another thing, let me just take it off. And then another thing that I think is important is because you have to know you're gonna pay the deposit, which is like equal the rent. It equals the amount of the rent. So let's assume it's 3.7. They'll be charging again next year, or maybe 3.9. So you're gonna pay that, probably pay admin fee, the key deposit as well. You're gonna pay like quite a few things. So if you have like something like double the amount of rent, then you should be covered. You should be covered. So I say that at the top of your list for what you want for accommodation, you should want a accredited accommodation, NSFAS accredited accommodation. So what you get with the NSFAS accredited accommodation is you get a guarantee. It's guaranteed to have Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed to have, study table, probably a place to bath, maybe a kettle if they don't have a geyser. But preferably, I like showering, so I'll take a place that has a shower all day long. You're guaranteed to have a fridge or of your own, or maybe if you live in a unit and don't have fridges in your room, you're guaranteed to have a big fridge in that unit as well. You're guaranteed to have quite a lot of things. Like NSFAS accredited accommodations, they make your life easy as a student. That's what I can say. Yes. So yeah, another thing is location. You have to, if you come into CUT, I would advise Westdean, I would advise Willows, maybe downtown. But downtown is not really safe. There's it's not safe. I think I'll just end it at that. It's not safe, so I wouldn't advise anyone to go and live there, because I personally wouldn't live there. I wouldn't live in downtown. So I think the best place is Willows. Like Willows, it's most of the students. Westdean is most of the students. So again, it's not even far from campus. It's like you literally have to walk to campus, or you can walk to campus. There are some other accommodations though that provide shuttles. Yeah, so another thing, where do you look if you want to find accommodation? Let's assume you're moving from your province, Eastern Cape, KZN, or wherever you're coming from, and then you're coming to Bloem for the first time. You want to look for accommodation. Where do you look? So what I did, as I say that I'm gonna use my own personal experience as well. What I did, I looked up on Facebook. Like, I don't live very far from Bloem. I can come from Bloem. I can come to Bloem anytime I want from where I come from. So it was not that much of a stress for me. I looked up the accommodation on Facebook Market. I started looking there, searching, looking at the pictures. It gives you that anticipation. Like I tell you, it gives you that anticipation, the excitement. You get excited to look for places, especially when that time keeps drawing closer and closer. You start getting excited. You want to see the place. You assume, like you picture, I want to live at a certain place. I want to live where there is a shower, where there is this, where there is that. I want to live at a place where they have a nice kitchen, things like that, where they have ovens. I don't want to live in a sharing accommodation. I want a single. By the way, when we speak of singles or sharings, I would advise, that if you're a first year, you should look for a sharing, because especially if you don't know anyone, if you're coming alone and you don't know anyone, I would highly advise that you look for a sharing, because what a sharing does is that it guarantees you a roommate. What a roommate does is that at least if you and your roommates are both first years, at least you'll be friends. So you'll have something to relate about first off. So at least that is better. Instead of having a sharing, you're going to be isolated. And not that when you have a roommate, you won't be homesick, but if you live alone, it increases your chances of being more homesick. So I would advise a sharing if you are a first year. And don't say you are shy. Like, guys, leave this thing of saying I'm shy, I'm shy, I'm not the kind of person who makes friends easily and things like that. Stop those things, because for you to enjoy as a student, you have to interact with other students. It's very important. It's very important that you interact with other students. So if you have this mentality that I'm shy, I don't talk to people, I don't know what to say when I first approach a person, when I first see a person. I think in one of the videos I made, I did mention that you have to be nice. Just be nice to people. Greet them, talk about the little things. If you meet each other in the kitchen, you can just start a conversation there, hang out, speak, or talk about things. If there's TV where you'll be living, sit and interact with your flatmates, and that is how you make friends in varsity. That is how you enjoy, by interacting with other people. But in your interaction though, you have to be careful, because it's very easy to be misled. It's very easy to find people who are corruptive, who will corrupt you. So just be careful on that one. But otherwise, be nice and make friends and enjoy. Another thing, if you obviously won't feel safe by looking around Facebook and seeking accommodation on Facebook, because what that does is that it opens a lot of doors for scammers. So a lot of people get scammed on Facebook. So what I would advise is that you look for companies that provide accommodation or that assist with students who are looking for accommodation. I know Powerhouse Properties, it's near Waterfront. I know National Real Estate, it's near Mimosa Mall. I also know Platinum Global. You can look them up on social media. I think they're quite reliable. Platinum Global, I know them as well. And then the last one that I know is Reality One. But I wouldn't advise anyone to go there because of my own personal experience, which was not so nice. If you want me guys to share my experience with them, I wouldn't mind. I would gladly do that and warn you guys of them. So if you look up those three companies or agency companies, I think they can help you. You can go there anytime. It doesn't take a lot of time. I think the maximum time that you can spend in you going there and them taking you around places, I think is 2 hours. So in 2 hours, they will have taken you to places that will satisfy you, provided that you come early. So first come, first serve. With accommodation, it's first come, first serve. So you have to look for accommodation very early. Very, very early, you have to look for accommodation so that you know that by the time the schools reopens, you have everything that you want. Because what other people do is that as schools are going to close now, they already looked or booked accommodations for next year. They already paid their deposit for next year. So you can imagine if you want to come around February, so what that will do. So guys, I think this video is being too long. It's being longer than I would have wanted. So I think it's better that I should end it here. And I think I've covered most of the important parts or the most critical parts. But if you feel like I haven't covered or I've left out some of the things, you can always ask me. You can hit me up on social media, even though I probably won't see that quickly. So I would advise you to leave a comment right here and I'll be sure to look it up. If you want to ask anything, I'll be sure to look it up. On that note, let me leave you guys with peace and I'll see you again in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Ciao.